There once was a small, peaceful village called Luz. The people there were deeply religious, kind-hearted, and respectful of tradition. But sadly, they were also very poor. There was never enough food. Whatever little they could cook, rice, lentils, or boiled roots, was divided among many. And even then, stomachs went to bed half empty. Eventually, the suffering became unbearable. One by one, families left the village in search of jobs, food, and survival, hoping to pray later, but eat first. Among those who left was a thin, clever man named James. He had no skill, no money, and no real plan. But he had one thing: a talent for lies. After walking for 3 days, James reached a village called Levant. This village had a different problem. The people here had food and land, but no education. They couldn't read, couldn't write, and worse, they believed almost anything they heard, especially if it sounded divine. James immediately saw an opportunity. He wore a long white cloth, smeared ash on his forehead, and stood under a neem tree saying, "Last night, in a dream, I was chosen by God." Curious villagers gathered. "Chosen for what?" James replied dramatically. "To guide lost souls, to protect you from the silent curse that lives in this land. I can feel it in the air." People gasped. "What cursed?" they asked. He leaned in and whispered, "The one that makes your children lazy, your cows thinner, and your wife burn the rice." The villagers were shocked. It all sounded strangely familiar. James continued, "Only I can protect you. But I need prayer space, and 2 chickens, and a little rice. For divine reasons." They agreed. Out of fear and faith, they built him a small hut. Soon, James became the village hollow, giving fake blessings, blowing air on people's heads, and eating better than anyone else. People believed everything he said. "If you boil your slippers and drink the water, your bad luck will go away. Give your best cow to the holy man, or you'll sneeze every Friday. God loves only those who feed the one he sent." James lived like a king. He got married to the richest farmer's daughter, and when people asked questions, he simply muttered, "Those who doubt suffer drought." But his lies were piling up. One day, a young boy named Henry, who had secretly gone to school in another town, came home to visit. He noticed something strange. Why is everyone giving their best rice to one man? Why are people drinking boiled sandal water? He followed James secretly and saw him sitting under a tree, laughing to himself while eating mangoes and practicing dramatic speeches in the mirror. Henry quickly told the village. At first, they didn't believe him. But when they watched James rehearse his next divine warning in front of his goat, the truth exploded like thunder. Everyone felt betrayed. Not just because they were fooled, but because they gave up food and trust to a fraud. The villagers dragged James into the square. As punishment, they made him return every grain of rice and all the chickens he took. Write the phrase "lying is not a miracle" 500 times, and live in the goat shed until he learned a real job. James never lied again. He eventually became a real rice mill worker, earning his food the hard way. And the people of Levin learned faith is sacred, but blind faith feeds the wrong mouths.